Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, I'm covering the final game between Gukesh D and Liren. So this game is not an easy for both players, especially for Gukesh that his hopes and childhood dreams come true. So the score is 6.5 for both players, and today's winner will be the World FIDE 2024 chess champion. So in this game, Chinese Grandmaster Deng Liren starts the game by taking his knight into f3. And to his response, Gukesh played pawn to d5. Deng played pawn to g3 as he is trying to activate his bishop from king side diagonal. Gukesh pushed the pawn into c5 and the game is going on very solid. In this level, there would be lots of pressure for both players. So it would not be an easy task for both players to play the game. Deng decides to take his bishop into g2 and Gukesh played the normal move knight to c6. So in this position, Deng decides to break the center by pushing the pawn into d4. Gukesh just simply pushed the pawn into e6. And the reason behind this move, if you take, so simply he is capturing by his bishop and activating his bishop. So this is a very simple idea in this position. So now this is the moment for Deng to go for safety of his king. So therefore he chooses to castle. Gukesh decides to capture the pawn by his pawn into d4. Deng captured d4 by his knight. In this position, Gukesh decided to activate his knight by taking it out into e7. And the reason is clear. As a black, Gukesh is down in a tempo. So in his next move, he is deciding to capture the knight. For example, if queen captures the knight back, again Gukesh jump his another knight and attacking the queen. So in this way, he is taking a tempo. Now, in this position, a very good move by Deng Liren. So he played c4, attacking to the center pawn. So Gukesh decided to capture the knight into d4. So queen simply capturing the knight. Now his knight is jumping into c6 and attacking the queen. So there are lots of squares to place the queen. So in this position, Deng decided to choose the best square and that was d1. So he wanted to play that safe move. So he didn't want to put in danger his queen. Now a very fantastic move by Gukesh. He pushed his pawn into forward, into d4. Now this pawn would be a little bit strong for Gukesh and it is a little bit problem for Deng. So therefore, Deng pushed the pawn into e3 and offered the exchange of the pawns. Gukesh activate his bishop into c5. Deng captures the pawn by his pawn and attacking to the bishop. Bishop captures the pawn. Now, in this position, Deng Liren played the best move, and that was placing his knight into c3. So in this position, Gukesh has this option to capture the knight by his bishop, but it is not a good move because in the next move, when Deng is capturing the bishop by his pawn, so simply he can activate his rook and also placing his bishop to control this diagonal and not allowing the black pieces to go castle. So in this position, Gukesh just chose the best move and he simply went to castle. Deng jumps his knight into b5. Very good move, attacking to the bishop. Gukesh took back his bishop into b6. Still has control in this diagonal. Deng played pawn to b2 and it is clear he has two options to activate his bishop from these two squares. Pushed his pawn into a6, attacking the knight and telling that I don't want your knight to be in here. So Deng simply took back his knight into c3. In this position, Gukesh take his bishop into d4 and attacking to the weak knight into c3. Bishop b2 played by Ding Liren. Gukesh decided to push the pawn into e5. Especially in this position, this is not a very accurate move for Gukesh because by pushing the pawn into e5, he weakened his square d5 because in any time it is possible for white to place his knight into d5. Simply queen to d2 played by Ding and Gukesh played bishop to e6 and controlling this square by his bishop and also activated his passive piece. Ding jumps his knight into d5. It is a little bit critical position, but in this position, a very good move played by Gukesh, and it was out of expectation. And the move was pushing the pawn into b5. And the reason behind this move is if white captures the pawn, so in this position, black can capture it back and also destabilize the knight in the center. Right now, it has a defender, but when capturing the pawn, so knight will not have a proper place to stay for a long time. So Ding captures the pawn. Gukesh captured it back by his pawn. Now the best move played by Ding. Knight to f4. And it is a very fantastic moment because if black captures the knight, so in this way, white can capture the knight by his bishop. Bishop is hanging, and also another bishop is hanging in the center. So this is a little critical position for both players in the level that they are playing and how the match is important. It is out of expectation. Definitely in such a games, pressure would be too much for both players. So Gukesh decided to capture the knight by his pawn and then, as per his plan, capture the knight by his bishop and attacking the rook. Gukesh captured the bishop by his bishop. Queen captures the bishop and now Gukesh saved his rook by putting it into b8 and defending from his weak pawn. Rook d1 played by Ding, attacking to the queen. In this position, Goke simply played queen to b6, attacking the bishop. Solid move by Ding, bishop to f3. Gokesh captures the pawn, Ding captured it back. Gokesh pushed the pawn into b4. a4 played by Ding. Gokesh captures the pawn. Rook captured the pawn g6 played by Gukesh. Queen to d4 played by Ding, offering the queen's exchange. Gukesh not accepting the queen's exchange, so he put his queen into b5. Ding pushed his pawn one step forward to b4. Queen captures b4, Ding captured it back by his queen. Rook captures the queen. Ding played rook to a8, offering exchange of rooks. Rooks captures, bishop captures, g5 played. Ding played bishop to d5, exchanging the bishop offering. But in this position, Gukesh didn't accept the exchange offering and he took back his bishop into f5. So the game continued simply and normally. King g7, rook c7, bishop g6, rook to c4, rook b1, king g2, From this position onward, both players they wanted to play the game solid, especially Ding Liren many times. He tried to get a draw with Gukesh because he was thinking about tiebreak. But Gukesh, he was playing very normally and he was thinking that I have 1 point extra. Why I should not compete up to the end? So the game was continuing like this up to the moment that Ding Liren made a huge blunder. So I will explain in a few moves later. So the game is going on normally till to this position and it was almost near to draw. But in this position, Dingleren made a huge blunder and he lost the game and he couldn't defend from his title. And his worst blunder was taking his rook into f2. It is a huge blunder in this position. Especially Gukesh in this position completely shocked and he couldn't believe that Deng would play such a blunder. But after lots of thinking and calculation, so he captured the rook by his rook. So Deng captured it back by his king. This position, Deng played his best move, taking his bishop into d5 and offering bishop exchange. So in this position, there was only one option for Deng and he captured it. So simply Gokesh captured it back by his king. The game was almost finished, but in this position, Deng wanted to try his chance. Maybe he could compensate, but it was almost very late for him. Now, Deng take his king into e3. The moment Gokesh put his king into e5 in this position, Ding Liren resigned from this game and he lost his championship. And Gokesh became the youngest chess player in history. And what was the reason that Deng Liren resigned in this position? The scenario is very simple. In the next move, for example, if Deng moves, so simply Gokesh will get close by his king. Definitely, he will come to this position and attack the pawn. So definitely, the only option would be for Deng to capture in this side. In this way, Gokesh won the game and brought this championship to his country. Thank you so much, my dear friends, for watching this video. If you like the videos, please subscribe the channel, share it with your friends and family members.